Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. My name is Money Mike, and we are in the middle of WrestleMania week. Well, technically it's only Monday, so we're at the beginning. But WrestleMania 40, the biggest WrestleMania of all time, is just days away. And I will be here all week with WrestleMania related videos. If you have not already, check out my video I did yesterday. I made a fun video looking at where I think the next 10 WrestleManias, all the way up to WrestleMania 50, should take place. And today we are going to look at the Raw preview for the go-home show for Monday Night Raw, as The Rock, Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes, and Seth Rollins will be in the same arena at the same time. So you know fireworks are going to go off in Brooklyn tonight. So, before we get to that though, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button today, as I will be here all week with WrestleMania related content, and I will have 2 live streams to end the week, as I will be live streaming night 2 of WrestleMania, as we will find out whether Cody Rhodes will finish the story. And I will be here on the Raw after Mania, live streaming Monday Night Raw next Monday, as we look forward to the surprises and the debuts, potentially, that we might see on the Raw after Mania. But let's look ahead right now tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Raw comes to you live from the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York. And the first hour of Monday Night Raw is commercial free. So you know they want you to tune in if they're going to make the first hour of Raw commercial free. But let's take a look at what's on tap for Monday Night Raw tonight. And we'll start with something that's been blossoming over the last couple of weeks. A lot of fans were upset that Sami Zayn won the gauntlet match to face Gunther, as a lot of fans wanted Chad Gable to get back to Gunther and be the one to end his streak. But tonight we will see Sami Zayn face big Bronson Reed, who got a win over him last week. And I like what they're doing with their creating this doubt with Sami Zayn. Can Sami beat Gunther? He's lost to Bronson Reed already. He's probably going to get the win back tonight, most likely, to build momentum into WrestleMania. But I like that they've still kept Chad Gable involved. You saw last week on Gable, where Sami went up to Gable and said, "Hey, I'm willing to listen to you. I'm willing to take help from you, when it comes to beating Gunther." And Sami and Chad are they going to form an alliance? Is this going to lead to a Sami heel turn on Gable maybe next week after Sami loses to Gunther? Or maybe Sami wins, and then we get Sami and Chad for the Intercontinental title down the line. But I do think fans should just be patient a little bit. I think Chad Gable will get his moment against Gunther at SummerSlam. I think SummerSlam is going to be when I think Gable beats him at SummerSlam, because I think you need Gunther to be challenging the World Heavyweight Champion at Bash of Berlin. Something that has been brewing over these last couple of weeks has been kind of intriguing, because WWE brought back Candice LeRae, and they haven't really done a whole lot with her. It's they just kind of had her there in the roster, not doing a whole lot. But now they're actually doing something. They're building to something. And clearly, she's turning heel. But I've liked what they've done where it's a slow turn, like the slow burn, where it's happening over the course of several weeks. And I think that's one of the biggest positives of, you know, Triple H's run in WWE as the chief content operator, head of creative, whatever you want to call it, is that we've been able to see things play out long term, opposed to just things happening without rhyme or reason. And you've seen these last couple of weeks where Candice LeRae has been just, she's been berating her opponent. She went off on Maxine Dupree, and you see her tag team partner Indy Hartwell is conflicted. She doesn't know how to feel about this new Candice LeRae. Her best friend suddenly has a change in attitude. Guess what? I think tonight we're going to see the culmination of all that. Because I think Indy Hartwell is going to be like, hey, I need a change of attitude too. Because tonight on Raw from Brooklyn, we will get Ivy, Nile, and Maxine Dupree against Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell. And I think tonight, we'll see Indy Hartwell embrace that inner heel. And I think she's going to finally go along with what Candice LeRae is doing. I think we'll finally see the heel turn from both of them instead of just one. Even though Indy Hartwell has been acting like she's been disgusted by what Candice is doing, she, like I said, she berated Maxine Dupree and, talked about her dead brother, and somewhere Christian Cage is happy, he's smiling that there's another wrestler that likes talking about other superstars' dead relatives. And staying with the tag team scene, the 6-pack ladder match, the most insane ladder match we will probably ever see in WWE. And we get a preview of that tonight as the Judgment Day will take on DIY and the New Day in 8-man tag team action. I fully expect this match to be entertaining. I fully expect it to be completely bonkers. Probably the other teams will get involved. And it's probably going to end in a big brawl to set up the match, tag team match for WrestleMania. And I think probably Judgment Day will win because they'll probably, who can stop Judgment Day? Blah blah blah, that type of thing. And then hopefully after WrestleMania, we'll see WWE break away from the unified tag titles and split the titles up, because Triple H has done a tremendous job building up the tag team division. And you see there's so many tag teams in the men's division right now. And, I just talked about Candice LeRae, Indy Hartwell. Even the women's tag teams division right now is kind of being built up. And so he's kind of making tag team wrestling important. He's making it feel important, whereas, under name redacted, tag teams weren't really that big of a priority. So, it's good to see that tag teams are getting a spotlight again in WWE. And hopefully after WrestleMania, we'll see the titles split, and that we will see Raw and SmackDown with their own tag team titles. And with Raw being commercial free for that first hour, it would not surprise me if they have Rock and Roman open the show. But also, I fully expect this to be the closing segment of the show after what happened last week, where The Rock just bloodied Cody Rhodes. and he took Cody Rhodes' blood and he put it on that belt that he's going to give to Mama Rhodes after Rock and Roman beat Cody and Seth on Saturday. The Rock, Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes, Seth Rollins in the same arena. What will happen after what happened last week to close out Monday Night Raw? You know, to me, I gotta wonder if they're going to continue. Maybe they're going to start teasing tension. We've seen Cody Rhodes mention it, where it's like, "Hey Roman, are you taking orders from The Rock? Who's really in charge?" With The Rock coming in, overshadowing Roman Reigns, and Roman starting to feel insecure. Remember when on SmackDown, Roman Reigns was like, "Hey, I need you to acknowledge me as your tribal chief." That was Roman's insecurity coming out. He needed that acknowledgement from The Rock, that he acknowledged him as his tribal chief, because he knew deep down that The Rock's presence bothers him. The Rock does not come out with the bloodline. The Rock comes out to his own music, his own entrance. Roman and the bloodline have their own separate entrance. So, you gotta wonder what we're gonna see tonight on Raw with Rock and Roman. Will there be any teases of something happening between them two? A conflict that we might see happen at WrestleMania and after WrestleMania. What is the state of Cody Rhodes? Is Cody Rhodes going to be 100% going into WrestleMania as he wrestles twice? And of course, there's Seth Rollins, who I cannot mention without mentioning that promo last week between Drew McIntyre, CM Punk, and Seth Rollins. They don't mention it in their Raw preview, but I imagine Drew and Punk will be there on Raw tonight, and they'll build more towards the World Heavyweight title picture. And I think, to me, it's funny, we talk about how The Rock is overshadowing Roman Reigns and how he is taken away from the build between Cody and Roman. And, you could kind of say the same thing where it's like Seth Rollins is kind of the odd man out. It feels like they've been building up to CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre. And Seth Rollins is kind of one who's playing second fiddle here as champion. But I think WWE has done a better job incorporating Seth into this whole thing with CM Punk and Drew McIntyre, to where all three feel equal. They all feel important. And last week, the whole promo was pretty much unscripted. It came out that they pretty much were told, "Hey, go out there and just shoot. Say whatever you want. Here's the parameters. Now go out there and do the promo." And you saw like how it felt different. The promo, it didn't feel like a typical WWE promo. And I really hope, that we do get to see more of that, where more talent gets to have that kind of freedom to do promos without a script, without feeling scripted. Because to me, that's when wrestling, I think, is much better. I mean, you remember the days of Roman Reigns would sit there and be like, "Suffering, succotash." Like, it was terrible. Like, the overly scripted stuff. You would see wrestlers, just pull the microphone down sometimes, like, asking the other person what their line was, because they were so stuck on trying to remember what they were supposed to say according to the script. So when we see that promo last week where Punk, Drew, and Rollins have the freedom to say whatever they want, it was refreshing, and I really hope that we get to see more wrestlers in WWE have that kind of freedom going forward. And not just the top guys, not just the top women, I want to see everybody be able to have that freedom, because that is going to allow the talent to be able to show a little bit more personality. They can add more to their character. And hopefully we get a good follow-up tonight on Raw with Drew, Punk, and Rollins. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, that is your Raw preview for tonight. Remember, the first hour of Raw is commercial-free. And the go-home show for WrestleMania, it should be a good show. Ladies and gentlemen, I've been your host, Money Mike, and tomorrow on the show, I will have a Raw recap here tomorrow on the show, and I will have a bonus second video tomorrow talking about WWE 2K24 and the future of Showcase mode.